Sex offenders. Would it happen again? On today's Modern Day Leper with Ahmad Blakemore. Will it happen again? This is the biggest question everybody's asking when it comes to sex offenders coming out of prison. Will it happen again? The sex offender has questions of his own. He has concerns of his own. If he's going in for the first time, he's got loads of questions. And some of these questions are how he got in the situation in the first place. What's going on in his mind? What's he thinking? If he's headed to prison, will I have support? Will people put money on my books? Worst of all the rumors true? Will I have to fight every day? Will I be raped in prison? All of these things are constantly on the minds of the person going into the prison. This is such a pressure that a person could actually have a nervous breakdown, wondering about the what ifs. What's going to happen when I get there? How much time do I have? Will I survive? Will I be killed? Will I be raped? All of this stuff is going on in the minds of the offender as he goes into prison. Will I be exploited for money? Then they threaten you. Hey man, you're going to need protection. If you don't get protection, this is going to happen to you. That's going to happen to you. You need to get your folks on the phone, man. Tell them to send you some money so you can pay for protection. And guess what? It works. All of these things are on the minds of inmates, offenders especially, going into prison. Did I get a fair trial? Or did they give me a lousy deal? Should I have signed on that deal? Was the DA fair to me? Did the victim lie? All of these things are now in the minds of the offender going into prison. And the questions the outside people are asking, will it happen again? Will it happen again? Can you see in your mind the contrast from the general public to the thoughts of the actual offender inmate? These things are so far from the mind of the actual inmate. This man has other things on his mind. This woman has other things on her mind. What was the trial like? What came out in the trial that no one may have known? Maybe I shouldn't have signed on that deal. Did I get too much time? All of these things are on the minds of the offender while the public is thinking, will it happen again? You must understand that prison, going to prison and being taken from your family is the biggest fear in the world. Being removed from your family. This is why the DAs use it. This is why law enforcement use it to give inmates lousy deals. On the other hand, will it happen again when the person comes out? So now there's a whole new set of questions now. When the person is coming out of prison, everything is totally different. The big secret is out. Whatever the big secret was, whether that person, that victim, was a friend or a family member, the big secret is out. Everybody knows now because things came out in the trial that nobody knew. So now this guy is probably hated by everybody. Will it happen again? With all this stuff on his mind, where will I live? Who can I trust? Who trusts me? And what about probation and parole? How will I get to my probation officer? How will I get to my parole officer? How will I pay my parole officer? Where will I work? Who's going to hire me? What am I going to eat tonight? Because the last thing he heard for the last 5-10 years was chow call. So he don't really know how to get food for himself, so to speak. And now he comes out as a registered sex offender with nowhere to go most of the time. If he has family members that will take him in, he's of the lucky ones. if he can find a place that he can actually live, 2,500 feet from a school or a daycare, nowhere around his former victim. And what if the victim's family wants revenge? Then what? How does he hide himself? How does he keep from going back to prison in an altercation? All of these issues are now wide open. Everything is in the open. And what about his relatives? What if he's not the kind of person that's going to be compliant to every little thing they say and get out of my house? Well, do what I say or else. You eat too much. You sleep too long. Whatever it happens to be, there is so much on the mind of an inmate coming out of prison. Will it happen again? Is definitely not at the top of the list. Trying to get the general public to understand the mind of a sex offender, because the general public seems to be locked on the fact that this is what these people are thinking. This is what they think about 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They're thinking about offending someone. They're thinking about a child. They're thinking about doing bad things. What if they do something else? How do we know that we're not safe? Trust me, these people are trying to find jobs. These people are trying to find a place to live. The amount of sex offenders living at tent cities or in the woods or some other godforsaken place when they try to keep dry and warm when it's cold and raining outside, trying to make a tent. And you think they're thinking about, will it happen again? This stuff is so far from the actual sex offender's mind. This is why the rate of recidivism for sex offenders is the lowest of most all the crimes when it comes to the rate of returning to prison. Because sex crimes, sex offender crimes, pedophilia crimes, and rape crimes are all built on secrecy. What we do in hiding, what we do that nobody knows about, how we can hide, how we can get away with doing things that nobody knows about. And now that everybody knows, because everything came out in the trial, and you did all that time in prison, and your victim got on the stand and everything else, guess what? The secret is out now. And everybody knows it. And your life is miserable. The last thing on your mind is, will it happen again? The chances of that happening again, ladies and gentlemen, is less than 5%. I'm Ahmad Blakemore, the modern day leper, asking you to subscribe, to like the videos, to share the videos, post them in other places, because there are a lot of sex offenders out there that need to get this information. Sex offender families, family members, victims even, just so they know how we feel. A lot of sex offenders are really repentant in their hearts, in their souls. We carry a heavy, heavy burden. And every day we wake up, we are not the people most people want to see in their minds. A lot of us walk around. Some people don't know that we're sex offenders. If they did, a lot of doors would close. A lot of blessings would go away. A lot of love would stop. A lot of relationships would dry up. A lot of opportunities would be no more. Will it happen again? It's not likely. I'm Ahmad Blakemore, modern day leper. I appreciate you guys stopping by the channel. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.